Hypixel Skyblock is all about grinding different aspects of the game like farming, combat, mining, and more. These grinds can be done for rare drops that help to improve quality of life during the game and expand opportunities. However, some drops are rarer than others, but what are the rarest drops in the game? Before we begin, I would like to create different categories for the drops, and I would also like to ask you to subscribe to my channel because we are growing and I'd like to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. But the three categories are useful rarities, cosmetic rarities, and money rarities. Firstly, let's look at the useful rarities. I classify these things like the Necron's Handle. They have low drop chances and the utility is insane for players first obtaining them. Now obviously, as the symbol for this category, the Necron's Handle has a very low drop chance at 0.1% or 0.13% if you play in Master Mode. Now this isn't necessarily rare. Once you factor in the time to complete a 4-7 dungeon run, around 8 to 12 minutes per run, you understand that 1 in 1,000 is plenty rare for just this one drop. But the useful drops do get much rarer than this, like the Judgment Core from the Void Gloom Seraph Slayer. This has a lower chance to drop than the Necron's Blade at 0.06%. This can create the most powerful bow in the game, the Terminator. However, these drops can be kinda considered cheating, since there's an RNG meter that allows for a guaranteed drop for both the Necron's Handle, the Judgment Core, and other dungeons or Slayer drops. However, the rarest weapon drop that is known in the game as of now puts these two drop chances to shame. There are some other useful drops like the Enchanted Chimera from Minos Inquisitors, but they have more niche uses, like this rarest weapon in the game that seems 1,000 times more rare than dropping a Necron's Handle, then fighting a Void Gloom Seraph, and dropping a Judgment Core right after, and that is the Enrager. This weapon is only epic, but it has a drop chance as low as 0.0001724%, and it gets as high as 0.0032064%. This can only be attained by fighting a boss in the Crimson Isle known as Kudra, and it has a very niche use for making mobs talk to the holder after they activate its ability. This ability is pretty cool, but it isn't that useful. And speaking of not too useful items, this leads us into the second category of items, cosmetic rarities. These things are like dyes and armor pieces that do not have another use besides it. Cool. Before we look at some of the insane drops, there are some weirder things like pet skins, often sold for Hypixel gems every now and then, and something called a hot sale, which means there are a certain amount of these skins that can be purchased, which puts a limit on the quantity, allowing the prices for these skins to rise dramatically, especially if they look cool and are on a decent pet. One of my personal favorites is the Ancient Golden Dragon skin, which is animated and has an ultimate skin rarity. But you could say that the rarest pet skin is the Hinzo Doggo Wolf skin, since the only copy of it belongs to the owner of the server, Hypixel himself, but that's kinda cheating. But moving on to dyes. These can be dropped by some mobs or even crops, with the rarest being the Celeste dye and the Cyclamen dye at 1 in 100 million drop chance, and the Wild Strawberry dye with the 1 in 150 million drop chance. Now the rare Strawberry dye actually is easier to obtain than the other two because it's obtained by farming crops, which can be done at the rate of 20 crops per second, so I consider it not as rare. So that leaves the Celeste dye and the Cyclamen dye with equal drop chance. But the Celeste dye is obtained by killing wolves, while the Cyclamen dye is obtained by killing mushrooms. One of these mobs is killed more often because of Slayer quests, which are wolves, meaning that the Cyclamen dye is actually rarer than Celeste dye since mushrooms are killed less. You could say that this is in fact the rarest cosmetic rarity in the game. Since it is the rarest drop in the game, it is worth so much money, which leads us into our third category, money rarities. These are drops that are very rare and their only use is really just to be sold. These drops come from enchantments like Compact or from Melon Pumpkin Dicer. They oftentimes will give you an increased amount of drops, but most of the time the main purpose is just to profit off of them. Compact can be low as 0.2%, but often is as high as 0.6%, dropping 1 enchanted mineral. While drops that come from the Melon Dicer and Pumpkin Dicer has chances as low as 1 in 100,208. This can drop either 8 enchanted melon blocks or 2 polished pumpkin blocks, depending on which dicer that you're using, and the best thing with them is just to turn them into coins. I'm unsure of any other drops that fit in this category, so if you have any, let me know in the comment section below, because I would like to know some other money rarities. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe so I can make more content like this.